Game 2.
And up on deck, it does look like Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Tomb of the Spider Queen. Very, very interesting match. We haven't seen this since the 1962 Opens.
Tempo Storm, up to bat. Up to
Bat?
What would you even say on that? Up to par? Up to swing?
Up to swing.
Is it actually up the swing? I don't know.
Swing.
But the draft is up, and we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen, ladies and gentlemen. So I say we join our draft over there.
Yeah, let's get on into the draft, of course. It's going to be a first pick, first ban coming out there from Duality Gaming. They're going to ban out Zeratul.
Not a surprise, although as a first pick, first ban, usually you don't see Zeratul up there, but would we actually... So with the Zeratul ban, will Duality, especially on Tomb of the Spider Queen, pick the Butcher or ban the Butcher and hope the tempo doesn't go for it early?
What if we just don't see the Butcher? What if we see something crazy out of tempo? I mean, they won very convincingly last game. They might go for something crazy.
Crazy. Well, Johanna ban. Not super crazy, but I mean, Duality Gaming had a first pick Azmodan last game. With Jaina still on the board, I can't imagine they'd give it up.
Please don't.
Will they take the Tyrande? The Butcher? The Butcheroo? The Kerrigan!
Kerrigan! All right. Well, on this map, it's a pretty good pickup, of course. You know, we always say this. It's a small map, very easy to roam between lanes, and getting that very early lead is super important with Kerrigan. Though we've seen Tempo Storm get stuck in a situation where they had the Kerrigan, and unfortunately, it just got too late into the game, and Kerrigan wasn't able to do that much.
Absolutely true. Kel'Thas is going to be the return here, and Jaina, so the Song of Fire and Ice will finally be reunited. Kerrigan, if she can't get those engages, she is going to melt, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's going to be a very, very difficult little decision-making that's going to have to come out here from Duality Gaming. They have to make sure that Kerrigan's going to be able to get in there and kill somebody, or get in there and be able to get out. So they're probably going to pick up an Uther to give that Divine Shield, that cleanse, and the burst healing out there for the Kerrigan. And maybe pick up something like a Tastadar just to supplement that just by a little bit more, because Tastadar is pretty good on this map with his Oracle, as well as just his shields to help keep Kerrigan alive.
So Duality Gaming, Uther, Tastadar, Rhaegar, any combo thereof, is that actually going to be this round? They're really dipping into their pool time for it.
They're going to go for Falstad as their first pickup here for their ranged.
Is it going to be the Zerg Taco?
Let's fly.
That sounds absolutely terrible. Roasted Zergling sounds gross.
Why?
Man, it's all nothing but muscle. It's not actually like good meat. I don't even know if Zerg have meat. I don't think there's meat there. I think it's all just carapace. It's like eating crickets.
Yeah, all right. So it's all carapace isn't the word. What's in your kneecap? Starts with a CH.
I have no idea.
Cartilage.
Cartilage.
Yeah, could all just be cartilage.
Well, it's chitin? Is that it? Chitin? Chiton? That's skin?
They totally didn't take Nephirin. They took
Grant
Meridian.
us strength.
Meridian. Okay.
Chitin, carapace, cartilage. There's too many things that are not tasty on a Zerg.
Yeah, Zerg just in general. I mean, it's not like you can eat the blades either. So Uther gets banned out here by Tempo Storm. They see the Kerrigan. It's so curious why Duality didn't pick up Uther in their second set of picks.
Yeah, any combination of support would have been perfect here. Falstad is not exactly a high-tier pick in this regard. So Duality, I think, might be setting themselves up a little bit of an uphill battle when it comes to this next match. As well, I mean, if they don't ban out the Butcher or the Tyrande, guess what? Tempo Storm has a 2-pick phase coming up.
And they have to ban out Rhaegar because they don't have the chance to get Rhaegar here, right? If they ban out Rhaegar, they can't get Rhaegar on their own team, so they have to ban out Rhaegar so Tempo doesn't get them. But guess what? Tempo's about to pick up Rhaegar right now. Like, there's no reason not to, because if they let Duality get Rhaegar, then there's an Ancestral for Kerrigan, so Tempo's going to pick up Rhaegar and probably a Warrior, and then leave that last pick for something crazy.
Rhaegar, Malfurion. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. You can do it.
Rhaegar Malfurion? Ooh, maybe.
There's the Rhaegar.
Rhaegar Tastadar.
Well, that's close.
No, we're not going to see anything crazy from Tempo. I think they're just going to go for a normal warrior. I was hoping they're going to go for a Murky or something.
I know, right? Just like, come on. Clearly, we have the confidence in this game. Clearly, we have the knowledge and the mechanics. And I wanted to see something crazy. But Tempo Storm, with so much on the line, those seeding points to BlizzCon, looks like they will just play it out as per norm. So Duality Gaming stuck into a Malfurion. Not exactly someone I would pair up for those early game ganks with the carry. But could this be the Malfurion Tyrande?
A new Barak.
Guess not.
That's
double tank hype.
Double tank with Kerrigan, though.
This actually worked for Na'Vi. They took double tank Illidan, and it was the Illidan with the hunt. Would you believe? And they absolutely smashed their opponents. So I'm not going to say that Kerrigan is the same as a hunting Illidan, but the dive on top of that backline, Kael'thas Jaina, it's a good theory.
Yeah, but I mean, they have no way to keep that Kerrigan alive is the issue. And now they've got the Tyrael, so they can easily dive on that Malfurion if they need to reciprocate.
It was also a counter pick from Duality. They took the Malfurion, the Mirrodin and the Anubarak, and that left Tempo Storm with the Tyra. They had no other choice for that one.
Oh yes, of course. Good point. But
yes, of course.
Now with the Tyrael against Malfurion, oof. Especially if the Kerrigan jumps in, they could just immediately Judgment Kerrigan.
Yep, they could.
They have a cleanse on Malfurion, but
Yep. It's going to be interesting going back and forth. So far, again, Tempo Storm really just kind of reading out these drafts. The Kael'thas, the Jaina. If we get to level 16 before Duality Gaming, it is going to be really hard to engage upon this. Already we've seen KO on the Jaina with the Snowstorm as well for the increased radius. You could easily at 13, if you're not worried about these engages, if you trust the Rhaegar and the Tassadar, you can even get the range increase at 13 on your Blizzard as well. So now you have increased range on Blizzard and radius to go with the Flame Strikes, Ignites. And to start everything off, is always going to be a Tyrael Judgment.
Yeah, this is going to be a very difficult game for Duality Gaming to find any really easy way to get into tempos. Into being able to take out somebody from tempo without just overextending and possibly just losing somebody or their entire team very quickly to all of the AoE damage from Kael'thas and Jaina. This is going to be... I think tempo definitely won this draft.
Now, Falstad has been picked actually quite a bit recently. 2Arc absolutely adores running him. We've seen him, I believe, in this tournament. I've seen him in the ESL Majors, the Storm Grounds. Anytime that there's a heavy mage presence, Falstad has come to the table. He came to it very early this round from Duality Gaming, but there can be something to be said about the burst and the dueling potential of Falstad. If he can catch Kael'thas, if he can catch Jaina by themselves, it's not quite as strong as a dueling Vala, but you have a little bit more utility with it because the lightning strikes are really, really hard to mess up.
Right, and so that's actually going to be their only hope for stopping the might of Tempo Storm, is going to be able to have to take out as many of these casters as possible using that map advantage in order to actually get all those gems. We'll see if Duality is able to do it. Game number 1, they looked a little bit shaky. Game number 2, they could definitely warm up. We saw this in the Hardcore Caravan versus Ascent. Game number 2, the losing team came out and actually played super well in the early stages. So let's see if we're going to see Duality Gaming do that, but we've got both our teams spawning on here on the map.
All right, left-hand side, Tempo Storm currently leading the series 1-0. Soldier, KO, Arthalon, Dreadnought, and apparently separate from the fold is going to be Zuna on the Jaina today.
Yeah, Zuna up here and has a little Jaina. Very cute. Oh, a little tiger. It's nice. Anyway, red team coming on out here. It is none other than our friends Panda, Da Boy, Myth, Chukonos, Father Major, Fierce, and they round out, of course, Duality Gaming.
All right, so no big death balls here in the mid. We're not looking for any kind of big early engages from Chukanos, which is a little surprising. As that Kerrigan, is it going to be the Kerrigan and the Anubarak roam? Because really those are the only two that kind of put themselves together. It could be with Myth instead. It should not be with Panda Boy, or at least it doesn't feel like it should be from Panda Boy. You're going to need those double stuns in order to lock someone down. And Zuna Arthalon They are looking. Zuna's going to find Chukanos, and that's going to be Arthalon there as well. Big damage from both sides, but I'm not entirely too sure Tempo Storm has a kill in the bag.
Well, that's actually pretty close on actually being able to pick up Zuna there, but now Panda the Boy has to get a disengage here. There's the barrel roll, actually trying to use Fly, but there was, oh man, that's so close. They tried to use Fly to get out of there, but there was a gravity lapse to stop that, and they actually pick up. Oh, wow, it is a bloodfest over here. Father Major has to get out of here now. Dreadnought going for the kill, not going to be able to make it. Father Major is going to be able to get out of there. A 2-for-1, though, however, going on over here for Duality Gaming.
And the Mages kind of re-engaged. They didn't hit the Sippy Cups. They didn't have the hit points for it there, and that's just kind of abusing the early game hit point pools of those double tanks. Like the Nubarak was there ready to go afterwards. They had the Malfurion for the Hots there as well. So that worked out for Duality's favor. We're going to have to see if they can keep up that level of play, though.
That is going to be a very, very difficult thing. So we do see the scouting drone has been picked up here by Fierce. Oh, actually, as I'm speaking about that, Chukanos taking a good amount of damage. Going to use the leap to get back over to KO, but the Psy Storm from KO is just a little bit too much. And she's going to go down.
Panda the Boy not looking so hot here either. He just flew back to lane as well. It's probably going to have to hoof it back. But Arthalon and Zuna sticking together as that intercept on the Kerrigan, on the Falstad. It has so far kept the lanes, fairly static, and hasn't been really any kind of big pressure into those roams. Soldier and Myth have been basically untouched, and Dreadnought, he shows up every now and then, puts out a few of those heals. But again, look at it, Zuna and Arthalon right into this little crevice here, and every time they find Chukanos, they find Panda the Boy.
And that's really the huge advantage of having both of these casters being able to sit in that little area. There's two giant choke points that everybody has to walk through. And these are two casters that do so much AoE damage. And that's what's so great about being able to put them in that area. Oh my god, Arthalon dodging out. Chukanos grasp into blades, but it's just not going to work out for him today. He is going to get taken out here. Panda the Boy taking a lot of damage, but is going to be able to disengage, especially with a little bit of a heal from Fierce.
Now, Father Major hasn't really been part of a lot of these skirmishes, has been holding down the experience for his side, and, it has kind of paid off as well. Myth into the top has been soaking pretty consistently there as well. He's going to try to turn in 14 of those gems, but it is not going to last whatsoever. And now, a little bit of a reprieve as we go back and forth, but not a surprise to see Gathering Power coming out from Kael'thas.
Yeah, Kael'thas picking up that Gathering Power. The more and more kills he gets, the stronger he will get. So he's going to be able to get pretty damagey in the later parts of the game as long as he plays a little safer. Arthalon, of course, has died a couple of times now. But going on to the later stages of the game, as soon as he picks up something like Flamethrower, he can stay a lot safer with that 50% range increase on his Flame Strike.
Chukanos trying to actually jump on top of Arthalon, but the gravity labs defeating that one. You can see the power throw there from Panda the Boy, who actually went into the Vamp. We're going to have to see if that works out for his auto attacks. Chukanos is going to drop.
Yeah, tried to go for the giant leap, grasp into blades, but just didn't work out. Fierce going down, and that's 15 gems that Myth has to try and get in there and get, but unfortunately, not going to be able to pick up the other two, so it's only going to pick up 5 of those 15 gems that Malfurion just dropped.
Something I just noticed, we have a Shadow Wolf. That is a Shadow Wolf Rhaegar. Good luck trying to continually target him out with lightning strikes.
Yeah, Dreadnought definitely loves that talent. Really only used it in a couple of situations, but picking it out here, very smart maneuver, just in order to upset pretty much any type of massive amount of crowd control. Zuna dodging out most of the crowd control here, but unfortunately not going to dodge everything. The entangling wrist from Fierce is going to allow them to pick up that kill.
Now, we did actually have the Tasker get out, and looking at the Tasker, we went into the Psy Infusion. He has the Static Charge there as well. Again, the Gravity Lapse is kind of defeating Chukanos there as well. Not really going to get a huge amount of value out of that one. And it is actually the Snowstorm once more to go with Deep Chill, as well as Frostbite in there for the Jaina. So she has, the double passives, but the Snowstorm, I'm really curious at 13 if she will go for the range increase.
So a couple of weird talent builds coming out here from Duality Gaming. We're seeing a full Beetle build come out here from the Anubarak, which is an interesting idea. No adaptation on the Kerrigan, so she goes in, she's not going to be able to leap back in and out. We're seeing the Muradin pick up Third Wind into battle momentum, so we're seeing a very reverberation-heavy build, which is going to be interesting to see against really a non-auto attack focused team. And Myth was trying to go for the turn in. It's not going to go through though. Was delayed by the Blizzard.
Now, we did just have the blue web weavers come and go. The bottom lane was kind of the big target right there. We don't have any gates in the bottom, in the mid, not even the top either. And just a lot of siege damage already done. Big save there on top of KO. Can't say the same for Father Major.
Yeah, Father Major is going to get eliminated here. And now it looks like it might be Fierce.
Yeah, Fierce is just going to be real low. Dreadnought, actually, I think, is the one able to get that last hit. Zuna, big shield coming out from Soldier on the crew. Level 10, the Ancestral, the Sanctification keeps the kill fast going, keeps this team alive. And now Panda Boy, that's a 4-man team wipe. Nobody expecting the Sank out of that one, but Soldier with the quick fingers, and he saves the day for a complete turnaround and just destruction of this mid lane.
Yeah, and not only that, but that's going to allow Arthlon to get 5 stacks of gathering power. Oh man, he's going to start dealing some great amount of damage. Soldier getting hit by the Entangling Roots at the last second, but we'll use Alduran's Might to disengage there. Chukonos was looking for a little bit of a leap, but didn't want to leap that far into enemy territory.
It's not a Pyroblast. I was really hoping with the Sanctification we would see the Pyroblast, but it's still going to be that Phoenix. We did now, of course, see the Sanctification. We got that Archon going, as well as the Elemental and the Ancestral. A lot of things came together right there for Tempo Storm. They had their fingers on the trigger for those ults, and, well, came out very, very nice for them.
Yeah, with Sanctification, they can do a lot of work while they're just letting their casters just completely destroy that backline. So it's going to be a very, very scary thing. They have to deny material from that full channel of Sanctification. They're going to be in a huge amount of trouble. But of course, that spends a lot of crowd control. That's going to have to be a Noob or X spending his spines, or maybe even picking up Web Wrap just to deny that level 10. But they still are very far from that.
All right, Father Major coming down. We still don't have those level 10s yet, but Blue Web Weavers once more going to be descending. We also have these Siege Giants into the bottom lane, and as level 10 is about to be on the cusp here for Duality Gaming, Zuna actually finds Fears, and if they can actually take down Fears, they will. There's not going to be a Tranquility for this fight.
Yes, and that's a lot of damage, and with the Siege Giants already and the Web Weavers coming down in here, this actually might be a good amount of damage on this keep, if not actually a kill on it. Level 12 to level 10 now, they do have their heroics, so they have to be a little bit careful of going a little bit too far into this territory.
It's going to be Web Blast again. Maelstrom's ready to go. No Tranquility because we don't have the Malf. Actually, Malfurion's back up, but now the Kerrigan is still respawning, and this is a heck of a push coming in. We're about to hit level 13 for Tempo Storm, which means that if you got to fight, you got to fight now.
Yeah, but they don't want to go a little bit too far into this engagement, because if they start losing anybody, they give 13 over to Tempo. Doesn't matter, actually, Tempo's going to be able to pick up 13 before this talent anyway. There's the Tranquility, Web Wrap going down, and I don't think they're going to be able to capitalize on the fact that Dreadnought's there. There's the Sanctification coming out there from Soldier to keep everybody alive, and they are going to lose their Malfurion. They're going to lose their Falstad. They're going to lose their Kerrigan. That's 3 people down. Are they going to lose any more?
Well, they're very likely to have a big retreat here. Myth and Father Major, the only 2 tanks and the only 2 team members left on the field. We did trade this out for the Jaina. The Sanctification just wasn't enough to keep her going afterwards. But level 13 coming in, she did go for Icy Veins. It's not that, it's not the range increase. It's not the ice block. She was just pure damage. And with 3 seconds of invulnerability, nobody even touched Soldier during that fight. Like, he had the full set duration of that Sanctification going, and it led a lot of damage for that Icy Vein.
And that is a huge issue for them to deal with. You know, they picked up that Web Wrap. They went for Dreadnought to try and deny any type of Ancestral on a target, and then I guess they tried to go for a huge focus, but it just didn't really work out in time. They have to take out that Web Wrap so incredibly quickly. Oh, sorry, they have to really take out somebody before that Web Wrap pops back up, but they just weren't able to do it with the rest of the team still there. Especially with that Sanctification, it's very difficult to focus anybody down.
All right, so both sets of bruisers are going to be here on the docket. And you're going to find Myth, not quite the big target that you're looking for there from Soldier and crew, but level 16 is going to be on the horizon. And again, we could be looking at the super sweet spot of 16 to 12 for the level advantages. How many gems do we have? 14 more to put in. It's not quite going to be those Web Weavers yet for Tempo Storm, but they are on par for just another flawless victory.
Yeah, they don't really have much competition in terms of gems. There's no way that we're going to see Duality Gaming be able to get to this gem turn-in unscathed.
They don't even have enough anyways.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Tempo Storm has just been complete in control of this map.
And now with a little bit more help from the Siege Giants into the bottom lane. Something I noticed here for the Serial, there we go, is Angelic Absorption. It's not imposing will this round. It is going to be a little bit more health regeneration for himself. Every time you get hit while shielded, 60 health regen for a few seconds. Could go a long way, to kind of keep Dreadnought more focused on keeping these mages up and about. But as I said, we're looking at that super sweet spot. 16 coming in. A lot of gems have now been turned in. We're still continually just grabbing them at a good pace. It's going to be still, I think, a short of few for a turn in.
But it looks like Tempo Storm with the level 16 over 12. They are going to go for the throw pit. Soldier going to sit here and just guard everything before the enemy team's able to come in here. But with Ignite, oh man, they have to be so afraid of Arthalon. Wow, look at how quick they were able to take out that boss.
The boss just absolutely melted. The rest of the team here from Duality is just like, well, all right, now Fierce in the front line. He is not going to be lasting too long out of that ice block.
Yeah, and he's going to be immediately eliminated, and that's a huge amount of their healing, if not all of their healing here. So this is going to be a very difficult fight for them to sustain through. Draconos taking a flame. Oh my god, the living bomb is so much damage. Just died absolutely across the map.
Died off camera, too. I didn't actually expect her to go down, but now the man, the myth, the Mirrodin, he's going to be the next big target, already popping out that avatar form, and it's just going to be enough to keep him into that retreat. If he stays around, however, he is going to drop the Icy Veins on Zuna. Again, just going to be making Father Major into that retreat path, and that's a keep. This is the boss top. The Siege Giants into the bottom have had such value, and the web wrap coming out, this is not going to be enough to deter Tempo Storm from the bush.
Yeah, they threw the web wrap on Arthalon, and they just are trying to stop as much damage as possible, but it's just, look at how much damage he's able to do with one flame strike. Draconos went in. The rest of the team was not really exactly on board with there, and it looks like Duality Gaming is going to lose game number 2 here, which is match point. Tempo Storm, they actually dropped 5 kills here, but they are up 18. And with the Sanctification, that's going to seal the deal. Core goes down. Congrats to Tempo.
We don't get to see a lot of Sanctification builds going back and forth, but the Titans of North America, nay, the world at this point. This is the most hyped team in Heroes. And as we said before, they're the #1 seed in multiple tournaments, in multiple rankings, and they are the #1 here as they were the previous winners in the June qualifiers. It's kind of bad luck for Duality to kind of get matched up with them. They just didn't really seem to be on the same level.
They really didn't, but that's unfortunately going to be the tune of the song until you play for as long as Tempo. I mean, they've been playing this game. These members have been playing this game for about a year and a half now.
It came out February last year, so yeah, about
a year and a half, maybe a year plus. So, they've got a pretty decent amount of time under their belt for each of these maps. So they've got a really good understanding of this game, especially of how it's progressed, etc. So Tempo Storm, so incredibly good, and they're going to be able to move on to the next part of the bracket. Who are they going up against next?
I don't even know if we're actually going to be following them or not, but they're at the very top of the bracket. You can use the chat command in stream to find out exactly what we're going to be looking at. But it looks like the winner of Turmoil Syndicate versus 1 Point. Canadian team.
More Canadians.
A Canadian team, indeed. Now, we were actually talking about Ascent versus Pool Play-Doh Some Tangos or Fan Hots on YouTube. It does look like Pool Play-Doh Some Tangos actually did move on. And again, I'm going to stay by my words. I think Ascent will move into the next round. They're likely to face up against Kappa Wolves, and then it's the winner of that versus the winner of Tempo Storm and who we just mentioned, 1 Point and Turmoil Syndicate. That will then be the first matchup probably in the double elimination next weekend.
And that's what I'm going to be really curious to watch. But we'll see who we go up to next. And, of course, follow us on Twitter. Myself, Sham2, and, of course, the lovely FourCourtJester on Twitter to see who we're going to go up next. Or just tune into the chat because we'll post it there as well.
We'll pop up and post.
Pop up and post.
I got your back, brother. All right.